Do you see that car, Lara? Broken. Just like your life. Broken beyond repair. You looked for him. Yelled, cried, prayed. You waited. You still do. Even back in Lyon. Through hazy days and dreamless nights. Before the sun shines again, a lot of dark things will cross the sky. A lot of very, very dark things, Lara.
I knew you'd be here.
So get started. What are you going to tell me? That I'm strong and will endure? That time heals?
I'll tell you anything it takes to make you feel better.
Wait now. Where's that amusing Diego I know? What about some funny story? Yesterday I put all his belongings in a box and took it to the cellar. And about 3 o'clock I woke up, fetched the box, and spent the rest of the night returning his things to where they were before. Nobody knows what it's like, Diego. Nobody has even the slightest idea.
Lara, go back to work. See your friends. We'll get coffee together. Imagine that they make something that's actually drinkable.
That chapter's closed. What did that damn work give me? What have I accomplished? Found a couple paintings? No, Diego. It's time to move on. To burn all my bridges. That's the only way for me to live through it.
I was afraid you'd say that. But your work is more important than you think. Here, read this. I wanted to give it to you when you came to the office, but it seems now I won't have the opportunity.
This? You think this will change anything?
If this doesn't, then nothing will.
The new coffee. Is it really drinkable?
You've never tasted better. I'll lend you my umbrella, okay?
No thanks. I don't need it. It's the Lyon Museum of Arts. They have a beautiful collection of 17th to 20th century paintings. I sort of pity her. She's here day and night, rain or shine, always alone, always watching all those happy couples meeting here. We two have something in common. Once these bins just disappeared from day to day. They said that was because of terrorists. Good that someone sane took this over.
Hi, we heard about the accident. You have my condolences.
Why? Has anyone died?
Well, I thought, as they haven't found the body...
Is Kotu here?
Yeah, sure. He's at his desk. Hey, I'm sorry.
Lara, I'm so very sorry.
Hey, if there's something we can do, anything at all.
I did all that could be done. So thanks, but you better get back to work. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
We're glad you're back.
Kotu works really hard, and is a favorite of Renier. What's up?
In a few minutes, a briefing's going to start about a very interesting case. Jimenez and Renier are preparing it now.
I need to talk with her.
Wrong moment. She's not interested in anything but that case now. We're even cooperating on it with our dear American friends, so a lot hinges on it.
FBI?
They are having some troubles in San Francisco and asked us to help. We will do the hard work, and they will have to deal with all the congrats for having solved the case. One just has to love them.
You know, I'm really not interested just now.
You should be. It's really interesting reading. I've put it all on your desk.
About that case, have you read over that file yet?
You bet. Proper preparation is essential, isn't it?
Any additional research? Something which isn't in the file?
No, but I think Renier's got some additional photos she wants to show us.
Please, where's the case file?
I've put it on the desk in your office, but I told you that already, didn't I?
How did it go when I was away?
It went well. In fact, almost surprisingly well. Listen, you've had a hard time. If you want to have some more rest, we all here would understand. In fact, I could take over your work for a while.
You would take it over from me. You'd like to be the boss here?
Well, to want is probably too strong, but simply if circumstances required it, I could do it. We're all on the same side, aren't we? We have to help each other.
I see. Good. I'll remember that. I'd never thought that I'd lead my own department and even have my own secretary.
Lara?
Yes, Suzanne?
I know I shouldn't pry, but when I see how tired and sad you are... Well, I just mean, if you want, I have plenty of meditation music.
What?
Music, herbs, and a hot tub. The body and the mind just need to purge from time to time to get rid of negative energy.
Herbs? Well, maybe later.
Don't underestimate nature, Lara. It will help you more than some pills.
Anything new? Any message?
No, nothing. But Renier has arrived at headquarters along with that Spanish charmer. Something big is gonna happen.
Have you read it? If you aren't sure about something, better go through it one more time. If she finds a mistake, we'll all get it as usual. I know you two don't exactly like each other, but you should give her some respect. She's very important for us.
Today's weather is not lifting my mood. A place for notes and analyses. I'm probably the only one in the whole department who doesn't have it full of old, indecipherable notes. That's all the data on the cases they gave us? The file isn't exactly thick. Some wise guy put a business card there and now it's goodness knows where. San Francisco? That drawing in Max's diary. The name of this city. No, I really don't want to recall that. Now I have to concentrate on work. Well, it looks really interesting. Maybe I could help out one last time. No, I'll quit. I have to take care of myself now. The phone is connected through the exchange that is handled by Muriel most of the time. All business calls should go through her. I took this photo when Max finished his first painting after returning from the hospital. He seemed so happy. It's like it's bolted to the floor. If I want to get under it, I'll have to think of something else. I'm afraid I can't move the filing cabinet. There's a business card under the filing cabinet. It fell there out of the FBI case report. I'd better take it. It was part of the FBI case report, so it may be important. A business card of some woman from Argo that has the telephone number crossed out. It probably isn't valid anymore. A new telephone number is written on the back of the business card. If I need any information from Argo, I know where to call. A new telephone number. If I need any information from Argo, I know where to call. There's a phone number written here, perhaps in place of the one on the front. Now I know where to call. Durand, Office for Art Theft Investigation.
Good day. How can I help you?
We're investigating the case of your missing employees in San Francisco in cooperation with the FBI. Could you fax us their files?
Of course, but be aware that there are only some basic facts. We're not the police.
We'll see. Maybe we'll find something there anyways.
Laura, a fax for you has arrived. It's still in the machine.
Argo sent me the files of those missing employees. The Argo technicians' files. Maybe they contain something interesting. So one of them has an entry in the police database. Interesting, but it's not proof.
Wait, have you really read it over well? Do you remember its contents?
Why do you think I'm the boss here? Because I'm lazy and inconsistent?
No, certainly not.
So let's go, right?
Lara, how is the trip? Don't you want to rest?
No, I'm fine, relatively. But I'd like to discuss something with you, alone.
Later, all right? Did you have any time to read that file?
Of course. Just out of curiosity, you're here... Why?
Well, no good deed goes unpunished. Your friend Yimnez insisted that we help you.
Two heads are better than... so on.
It's always good to see you, Diego. But you... When I was leaving, you were managing our budget at Interpol, not our cases.
Lara, I didn't usurp you as boss of the department. You were just gone, so I stepped in and took over. Is it necessarily such a bad thing for us to help each other?
No, of course not. All help is welcome.
Excellent. Pictures that came in after the report, I've prepared in the projector. This is the church on Mission Street, where those structural engineers from Argo went missing and blood was found. And most importantly, that painting.
Someone painted a few smears in blood?
You could say that. We're talking about this.
Jesus Christ.
Is that blood? Is this thing really painted in human blood?
Sure. You did read the report, didn't you?
Of course I did. It's just taken me by surprise. I know there was an enclosed analysis of 3 blood samples.
By the way, has it occurred to someone to call Argo?
I've spoken with them.
Great, Lara. Good work. So let's discuss that analysis.
Where do we start?
The painting? Or are we leaving that for...
Last. First, we'll look at what went on there. That way we can better understand how and why it was made.
As you said, you're the boss here.
All right. First, let's develop our own hypothesis about what really happened in there. Now I'll tag the evidence in those pictures that could be useful to us. Good. The projector remote has a laser pointer. That will be useful. This is used to control the projector. Something in that painting is familiar to me, but where did I see it?
Well, I suppose that you've seen hundreds of paintings in your work.
No, not like that. This is different. So what will help us to find out what did happen in here? An overthrown chair. Interesting, but not what I'm looking for. And what about that helmet?
The victim could have worn it on his head, and when falling to the floor, the helmet fell and spinned off.
I can't imagine that. I think that it probably stayed on his head lying on the floor.
Of course, that's more likely.
Or the victim wasn't wearing it at all, and it fell off the table. I think we can't come to any conclusion about that. The blood, the overthrown chair, we probably agree that there's some story behind it.
I looked at it too, but what do you want to find there?
It seems that one of the victims was sitting at the table and then either overthrew the culprit or hit him on the back with the chair, knocking them down.
Exactly, and that blood smear is perhaps from dragging the person off the chair. There is no blood around. The chair stayed as it fell. I suppose that the victim was not defending himself after the fall, possibly even dead beforehand.
Shouldn't there be more blood?
Very good question. Maybe the wound was covered by something. Bleeding into the clothing?
No, maybe you're not seeing this clearly, but there are some tiny spots on the table. I think it's blood too.
And that means...
In my opinion, the victim received a heart injury. I find it the most probable explanation.
What?
Listen, I think it does make sense. Let's say that the victim was shot in the heart. The blood would spurt once or twice from the wound. That could be on the table, then the heart stopped beating.
So it would make the blood stop circulating and the bleeding would stop almost immediately.
Yes. If we could analyze that blood, we might be able to point out more accurately the place of the hit.
Don't you want to take this to pathology?
These things are well known. Non-oxygenated blood is dark. Oxygenated is light. That's how you know which ventricle it comes from. There's a lot of blood here. The perpetrator left the victim to lie here for a long period of time.
Yeah, seems like it.
But you said yourself that if the heart stopped beating quickly, the blood would stop flowing.
No, I didn't say that. The blood stopped circulating, but of course it keeps on flowing. Slowly, from higher to lower parts. Let's sum up. We know the probable cause of death of one of the victims, hit in the heart.
But wounded by what?
Could have been a shot.
I didn't notice anything indicating a shooting, and there's nothing in the report. Diego?
I don't find it probable. If there was a shot to the heart, the chair elbow might be damaged too.
Not necessarily. If the culprit was shooting from an angle, the bullet could get caught by the vertebrae, spine. But I'd put the shooting aside for now.
So the murderer stabbed the victim in the heart. Why would he do that? To get some blood for painting? He'd have to have something to keep it in.
Of course he had. But if he wanted mainly the blood, he would more likely cut an artery. This seems rather ritualistic.
Ritual or not, what about those other two? Were they only onlookers? That doesn't make any sense.
Maybe they weren't actually conscious.
You're thinking about that gas from the report? Lara, did you get that?
John is talking about the gas, but he's wrong. The report clearly says that it's non-toxic, and so they couldn't have been poisoned by it, and it would have poisoned the suspect too.
Okay, was the FBI interested in something else besides that painting?
They want to know if the crime could have some religious motive.
So we should search through those photos and try to find evidence either supporting or controverting that hypothesis.
Let's have a look at it. If I'm not mistaken, this open book is a Bible, definitely a crucial sign.
And how do you know that it hadn't been lying there before the crime? You think that the offender left it there?
Do you see that blood? It seems that it's even under the Bible. It's obvious that the Bible fell on the floor after the blood was already there.
You're probably right.
It looks like a decorated cross, doesn't it? You could hardly find a more distinctive religious symbol.
You're right, but I think that doesn't prove anything. Someone just moved a cross here that could have been damaged during the earthquake.
Yes, I'd agree that it's not related.
That painting is fascinating, but we're looking for something else now. This figure has wings.
Sure, quite clearly visible ones.
More wings.
An angel?
Most likely. And here.
No need to comment on what is obvious. A third pair of wings, and that fourth figure has them too.
As I said, angels. 4 different angels. Lara, why are you looking like that?
These are not 4 different angels. I can see that now. These are angels from 4 different paintings with an Annunciation theme. Not one painting, but part of 4 different ones.
Are you sure? How do you know?
Max painted a copy of one of them. That's why it was familiar to me. I can remember the other two now. I've seen them before in other paintings, and the last one won't be an exception.
Annunciation. So the angel, that's probably Gabriel.
Archangel Gabriel? The guardian angel?
According to recent interpretations, but according to the Old Testament, this is the Archangel Gabriel, the angel of death.
That doesn't sound good. At least not for those missing engineers.
No, it doesn't. Max dreamed of him often. But that was before the...
Lara, if you want, we can take a break.
No need, thanks. I was just thinking. So, let's sum up. We have that painting consisting of parts of 4 other paintings with religious themes, and the culprit used a Bible after the crime. Maybe it's part of it. In my opinion, this is quite clear evidence that religion figures significantly in this.
Excellent, Lara. Really good work.
Can we get on with the important work, or should we just congratulate ourselves?
That painting. It's really strange, isn't it? Have you noticed that there are more detailed areas? Some touches are quite thin and precise.
And why is it strange that he painted some stuff in detail?
You have to look more closely. I'll show you. Jean, do you see that brush? That thick and rough brush? Would you use it for this painting?
Even more the composition. Added to that an amazing visual memory.
Whoever painted this was pretty talented and experienced. It definitely was not their first painting.
But there's still something strange about it. Besides the fact that some madman painted it, with human blood.
There's something about the painting, isn't there? I can feel it too. Let's try to find it. Those wings might be really important, but not just now. Those handprints. Strange, aren't they?
That's it. Those handprints. There was nothing in the report about fingerprints, so he had to be wearing gloves. But the main point...
Why was he so particular about the painting, and was still destroying it by handprints at the same time?
Good question. I suppose you have some hypothesis of your own.
I know that this might sound weird, but I think that he left those prints there on purpose. Do you see how pronounced they are? I think he soaked a hand in blood for every one of them.
It's pretty crazy, but I have to agree with you on this. Andy was holding a brush in one hand. If he didn't do it on purpose, there wouldn't be prints of both palms.
So we found out a few things. Do you have any other ideas?
Maybe the placing of that painting. It could be significant somehow.
You think? I think he found a piece of blank wall and painted it there.
I think it's too complicated. I'll show you something in those pictures. Do you see this place? Completely smooth plastering. This alcove is clearly suitable for some painting, and he paints just next to it, on a cobbly brick wall.
Can you see any purpose in it?
I'm almost sure, and what's more, I might be wrong, but I recall 2 of those paintings. Those angels are not turned like this.
And you mean by it?
I mean that the place where he created the painting might have some purpose, but the placing of each part might have some purpose too. The FBI will surely be interested. Jean, put together the paintings with the Annunciation theme, and then we'll see what comes of it.
Jimenez, help him. Lara and I have to discuss something. Great. We finally have some time to talk. Lara, Diego has told me about your letter of resignation. Are you really sure you want to do that?
I should wait before quitting. Even more so because of that strange case. But is there any point in going on? The memories of Max will haunt me forever here. No, I've thought better of it. For now, if nothing more, I want to see this case solved.
It's the right decision, really. You know, we two won't ever be the best of friends. Your methods are a little unorthodox too often for my taste.
But they bring results.
Yes, and because we have no better person for your position, you should continue to lead here.
You won't find anyone with whom you'll be comfortable. We both know why.
As you're speaking openly, so will I, Lara. I wrested independency for this department, and now I'm spending all my time just trying to get it some decent funding. I should be the boss here.
None of us has everything we want.
You're right.
I should examine it properly. It's useless to print that. There's nothing there that could help me in searching for the artwork used to create those paintings. This photo surely will be useful in the search. Yes, that photo will be useful. This photo surely will be useful in the search. Yes, that photo will be useful. It's useless to print that. There's nothing there that could help me in searching for the artwork used to create those paintings. Great, the photos aren't here. Well, I'll take care of it myself. I don't need to call the technicians to tell me that, after mending it for an hour, there was a sheet of paper stuck inside. The printer cover opens here. Now it should be possible to remove the printer cover. See, there really is paper jammed inside. Weird, it won't move a bit. The safety lock is released, so it's possible to take the toner out. Now I'm removing the toner. Right, the jammed paper is out. I can't see any other problem. It surely won't print without toner. The printer is working. These photos weren't easy to get. Hopefully it will be worth the effort. Here are the photos I printed.
To get the catalog was quite easy. What are we going to do next?
Whatever it takes. This time we have to be really particular about it.
It seems to me it makes Renier quite nervous. I'd say she's under pressure from the bosses to show off to those Americans.
Kotu managed to get a catalog of the most widely known paintings of the Annunciation unbelievably quickly. He's really unbeatable in such things. It's Barocci too. He made this painting several years later. It's almost identical to the previous one, but I see some differences there. I won't find the correct paintings just from memory. I have to compare them with something. So let's see if we can find something interesting.
If you find some similarities, then insert a note with the letter of that particular photo to that page.
But we'll all look at it, won't we?
No chance. We don't want to restrain your clever mind. After all, you've shown you're in the same form as before the break.
Yeah, it will be good to know our boss is on the ball.
To identify a painting, I probably should use the tags with letters on them. So?
All parts of that wall painting represent various paintings with the motif of the Annunciation.
So it's really the work of some fanatic. Those technicians are dead.
So far, no one has said they're dead. Not all of them, anyway.
That's not important now. We have to check it out one more time so we don't overlook anything. Not the smallest thing.
Do you mean anything particular?
Hasn't it occurred to you how much those paintings resemble the original? It can't have been easy to do it from memory. Did he have a copy with him? Those proportions. In fact, everything. That man has been painting for a long time. He definitely knows what he's doing.
Interesting point. I'll surely add that to the report.
But that gets us back to those technicians. I've already heard about Argo. They aren't common structural engineers or technicians. Most of them do restoration. And they may be able to do something like that.
In the meantime, I'll try to get more info about those paintings.
I'll try to find something too.
Right. I'm going to do that report. It won't write itself. I use it mostly for sending emails. The access to Interpol databases is a bit complicated for my whole department because of Renier. We'll try to be as brief as possible. No one ever bothers to read long reports. All right, it's done. Let's see what Diego and Kotu have managed to put together so far.
Two tickets landed on my desk yesterday.
So?
I have something here. I've added it to Kotu's findings, but it's not much. If you find it interesting, send it together with the report.
Well, there are a couple of interesting things there.
I don't have anything to tell him right now. It should contain all the information that Interpol has about the paintings I identified in the photos. Max's name connected with those paintings? What does it mean? Why now? Why just now? Why can't I have a little rest? Even chance conspires against me. Or maybe not. But what could it be? An omen?
Are you all right?
What?
I just want to know if you're all right. You're as pale as a sheet. Maybe you should have some rest. It's your first day here, after all. Why stress yourself? Go home, get some sleep. Me and Kotu will manage somehow. In fact, everything is almost done. We only have to send it.
Would you really take care of that report? I could use a bit of rest, that's for sure.
Sure, I just need to send it. Don't knock yourself out. I don't want to regret persuading you to return to the job.
Something's going on, Diego. Something really weird. Do you think you could omit the irrelevant things from the summary? We don't need to flood the FBI with information having, in fact, no connection with the case.
Irrelevant stuff, but I told you. I see, of course, irrelevant stuff connected to someone. Understood. Why confuse them more than necessary, right? I'll adjust that.
Lara, I almost forgot. Someone called you.
Suzanne?
Yes, Lara?
Who wanted to talk to me?
Someone called and asked if you were here, speaking quite strangely. I thought maybe he was South African. My roommate has been dating one recently, so I listen to it almost daily.
Wasn't the name Jabali? Didn't they mention the name Leclerc?
They didn't introduce themselves, but yes, I think they mentioned the second name. And then something about having information for you. But when they were told you couldn't answer the phone immediately, they simply hung up. Didn't even give their number.
But I really need that information.
The exchange is manned by Muriel today. Maybe she'll tell you where they called from.
So, how did it go? That case seems to be big, doesn't it?
Definitely. but a little too much blood for my taste, as well as those weird details.
If anyone can solve this, you can. Who else?
Hey, Lara.
I heard about what happened. I'm so sorry. Do you need anything? Can I drop by?
Thanks, but let's leave it for next time, shall we? Right now I need you to help me here at work. Someone called in, but they didn't leave a message. Would you be able to find out what number the call came from? You're great, thanks.
You're welcome. I'm gonna find the last number they called you from, and I'll put you through right away.
Durand here, the Office of Art Theft Investigation. Someone called me from this number?
Mr. I'm glad to hear you again.
Zanzele? Where are you calling from?
I'm closer than
I see. Anything new at home? Anything at all?
But I need to talk to you anyway. Come to my flat anytime. It's just next to the Neon Opera.
I'm sorry, but maybe some other time. I'm really busy at the moment.
We have such an old saying in my homeland. One who hides his illness has no medicine. And there is something to it, don't you think? Come, my dear. It's important that we have a talk, very important.
Madam is exhausted from the journey. You have to wait. Well, and that stuff around here. They're rare things, so try not to make fun of them, all right?
Sure, Jabali. I see our sympathies are mutual. Zanzele has really weird decorations here. Very valuable, but a bit morbid. Almost all that's shown here is somehow connected with death. It looks functional, but I think it's been a long time since it was last used. Those damn statuettes. Why did she leave them here? Does she want me to notice them? If it weren't for those statuettes, Max would... I shouldn't have listened to Renier. I shouldn't...
They say that anger and wrath are destructive. It was never true, and it's not true now. Anger is better than resignation. Such a flame may get you far, Lara, but you must control it. Let it burn only where it's needed.
That's why you invited me? Did I rush here only to listen to a lecture on good behavior? You know well why I've come.
Forgive me. I understand your concern with only one thing. I wish I had a good news for you, but it is not meant to be. They still haven't found Max's body, but nevertheless I brought you something, an amulet.
But that's his amulet. He had it on him.
Washed up by the sea. I'll give it to you, but I'd like to ask you for something. I want to help you, but you must believe me. Do you believe, Lara?
In what?
You know in what. Do you believe in Max?
How many days since he's been away? How often waking from dreams where all is as it was? Haven't I been tortured enough? Give me that amulet and I'll go.
The amulet is not an ordinary trinket. It's a powerful thing. A thing with its own story, with its soul. With a strong tie because it was given out of love. I know a ritual old and powerful that we may perform. We could summon his soul.
His soul? It means that he's dead?
Some things resist being described with the words of this world, my dear. We can't define all things, store them in a nice box with a tag. Is the color gray more white or black? So how do you decide?
Do you expect me to sit at this table with you and play spooky games? Summon those souls of yours, but you won't find him. He's alive somewhere and will return to me. He'll come back to me when the right time comes.
Oh, that unfailing human fate. Great thing. Tell me, if Max was really alive, what if he's changed? Views, values that you shared. None of that is unchanging.
He couldn't have changed so much that I'd stop loving him.
Be careful with that word, my dear. Never is too powerful for someone who doesn't see far.
It's a simple, plain bowl, but it surely is old and rare, much like everything.
That amulet. Not many people know the true value of things. Only a few understand their true essence. The magic they hide in themselves. If you try to sell it, how much do you think you get?
I wouldn't sell it, never. He's going to take it back someday.
Sure, you wouldn't sell it. For anybody else, it would have value of maybe several hundred grams. But for you feel the magic. The fine spider web woven into it.
All he ever had, what he touched, has now a completely different value.
And moreover, what about the stuff he intentionally put a part of himself in?
Why all these riddles? Do you mean his paintings?
Maybe. A painting is a window to the soul, Lara. I think you would be silly not to look at it very closely. Maybe you will see his thoughts in it.
Let's stop it, okay? I don't really have the strength to talk about him anymore now, or about the accident.
Fate. Fate is not an accident, Lara.
I'll take that amulet with me until Max comes back. Maybe you're used to manipulating people, but I recognize when someone's hiding something from me.
Now I don't understand you. What do you want from me?
You know if Max is still alive, don't you?
You think I'm tormenting you willfully? If you hear the voice of one of those singers of yours from the other room now, does it mean they are there or not? It may be a radio, but doesn't have to be. Some questions just don't have a clear answer, not even for me.
Who are you? I mean, really?
I'm an old woman from an old family who is not going to be here much longer. And maybe I sometimes see a bit further than others.
So it's voodoo.
Why do you need to know everything, to understand everything? Your own aunt has a gift that you can't explain. So you stop asking questions, but you still have it somewhere in your head.
Who told you that? Have you had Jabali get information about me?
That is enough.
Wait. She doesn't mean it badly. She knows it's not like that, doesn't she? But to allow you to sleep well, yes, Jabali found it out.
Strange name, Jabali.
Strange name, Larissa.
Touché. Sorry, I didn't mean to be rude.
Jabali, that is the present. The past remains in the grey dust of Nyanga. Together with that name, I no longer remember. And I don't want to. Do you know what Nyanga is? It was she who pulled me from that hell. A young boy who was skilled with a knife. She never asked what I'd done, what a mess I'd left behind. She's a saint, miss. What would I become without her? How shall I repay it all to her? She hasn't much time left. It's not fair.
I would say what you're doing is already enough, and I think she sees it that same way. There's a vase with a face in the showcase. This kind of art is quite common in Africa.
According to the latest news, the earthquake that hit the town is the worst since the infamous Loma Prieta in 1989, taking more than 30 lives. Today, the mayor met a subway driver. The driver of the incoming train, fortunately...
Our beautiful and newly restored flat, now empty and silent. Zanzella is probably right. I should try to find out what Max was thinking before he disappeared. I don't think I need that now. Batteries in most remotes last for months. Ours is the exception to the rule. Let's see what's on TV.
According to the latest news, the earthquake that hit the town is the worst...
I'll leave it here for now.
taking more than 30 lives. Today, the mayor met the subway driver. The driver of the incoming train, fortunately, was able to stop the train and prevent a collision with rubble, which surely would have ended in disaster.
I'll leave it here for now. These papers contain information about Кейптауне, but I forgot to take them with me. The paper cutter is almost new. It has all its parts and it's razor sharp. As a child, I inadvertently cut the hand of our neighbor's son with something similar. It haunted my dreams long after that. Computers, laptops, netbooks, smartphones, and when I need to compute something, I use this prehistoric piece anyways. Perhaps I'm nostalgic. I don't think I need that now. I mostly use my laptop. When I find the time, this desperado will end up at some junkyard.
And town infrastructure will be in excess of $3 million.
No. Maybe I'm being silly, but I'm unable to muster the strength needed to unpack his things. Maybe later. I should examine it properly. Max's last painting. God! What was that? Am I losing my mind? Damn! Durand.
2 hours for lunch, glass of wine, pause for a game of Tang. So who would bother answering the phone? Let it ring, there's no hurry.
Yeah, on top of which we'd spend most of our time here watching TV series about how you in the States do everything the right way.
Aren't we a bit cheeky, Durand?
You know I had a good teacher. Kira, it has been ages since you last called me. What are you doing? How are you? I'm so glad to hear you again.
Couldn't be better. Oh, I'm alive at least. In any case, I've got an interesting report here from your department. The analysis of that incident from Mission Street. You know what? It's not that bad.
You're calling me from the States only to tell me that the report's not bad?
Well, in fact, it's quite good. I'd even say excellent, but someone might take it personally.
It's teamwork.
My God, you're still so naive. Save that for Renier. It was the two of us who destroyed the southern smuggling route. It's only thanks to us. Those art pieces from Russia and China aren't in someone's living room now. Who else would recognize your thinking of them?
It's the past, and you've never gone digging in the past. Push on ahead, that's the hardy Irish girl. So, what do you really need?
I want you here. I like your deductions. My boss likes them too. He's already booked the flight for you. You'll see the Golden Gate. And maybe save 3 lives. So?
Normally I would decline, but I'm interested in that case. Really interested. And if you put it that way, I've got to talk to Renier.
Why? You've already got her consent, and your air ticket is booked. See you at the crime scene.
Kira, you...